When you walk through life, there are moments when the heart aches, moments when love slips away, when someone you thought would stay forever suddenly becomes a memory. It is natural to ask why. Why would the universe allow such a wound? Why would God separate you from something so precious, something you believed was meant to be? When something is taken from our lives, especially love, it is easy to see it as a punishment or as a cruel twist of fate. The heart immediately asks why, and the mind begins to search for answers that never seem to satisfy the pain within. But if we look deeper, beyond the surface of what we see as loss, we can begin to understand that separation is not punishment, but preparation. It is not meant to destroy us, but to shape us, to make us stronger, to align us with a greater purpose that cannot be fulfilled if we remain in the same place. Pain is not always a sign of something going wrong. Often, it is the universe rearranging our path, clearing away what no longer serves the direction of our destiny. Imagine someone walking through a dark forest with a lantern. If the lantern is small, it lights only a short distance ahead, and the person feels secure staying close to that circle of light. But what if the path ahead requires them to see further, to discover a greater horizon? The small lantern would not be enough. To receive a brighter light, they must first be willing to let go of the small one they cling to. In the same way, when love is taken, it can feel like being left in darkness. But in truth, that space is being prepared for a brighter light, for a deeper experience, for a purpose that cannot be revealed while holding on to what feels safe. When we hold on tightly to love, we believe it is the only source of our completeness, the only anchor to our sense of self. Yet, separation teaches us that we are more than our attachments. It prepares us to find strength within ourselves, to realize that our identity is not built on another person, but on the deeper essence of who we are. In this way, what feels like punishment is in fact training, the kind of training that transforms weakness into resilience and loss into wisdom. Without being broken open, the heart cannot expand to hold greater truths. Without being emptied, the soul cannot be filled with something new. Every person who has been separated from love carries within them the possibility of becoming more. This separation teaches patience, it teaches surrender, and it teaches faith. It calls you to trust that what is happening is not random, but intentional. Just as a potter shapes clay by pressing and pulling it, just as a sword is sharpened by fire, the soul is shaped by loss, so it may become strong enough to carry the weight of greater blessings. In moments of separation, you are not being punished. You are being prepared, stretched, and molded so that when the time comes, you will be ready to step into something far greater than you imagined. The lesson of separation is therefore not to dwell on what has been taken, but to ask what is being prepared within you. The pain you feel is not meaningless. It is carving out space in your spirit. It is building in you the endurance, the wisdom, and the clarity you will need for the journey ahead. Without this preparation, you would remain in comfort, but you would never know the fullness of your potential. And so, when God separates you from love, He is not closing the door on you. He is opening the way for you to grow into the person you are meant to become. Someone stronger, wiser, and ready to carry more than you ever thought possible. Would you like me to expand all 6 keynotes into 600-word reflections each, so the full speech becomes a detailed series, or just this one for now? When we speak of release, we often imagine it as loss, as something being taken from us against our will. Yet, in the rhythm of life, release is not about losing, but about creating space for transformation. Nature itself reveals this truth to us. A tree, when autumn arrives, does not cling desperately to its leaves. It does not beg them to stay, nor does it resist the natural flow of the season. The tree understands that for new growth to emerge, it must first let go of what once gave it beauty and shade. The falling of leaves is not death, it is preparation for renewal. In the same way, when love slips from our grasp, We are being invited to release not as a punishment, but as a sacred step toward growth. Holding on tightly to what no longer serves us creates stagnation. It keeps us rooted in comfort, but comfort is not where transformation lives. Growth always demands release. Consider a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. The caterpillar cannot hold on to its old form. It cannot cling to what it once was. It must surrender fully, dissolving into something unrecognizable before it can emerge with wings. This surrender is not easy, but without it, the beauty of flight would never be known. In the same way, when we experience separation from love, it feels as though our familiar world has dissolved. Yet in that dissolution lies the potential for wings we never imagined we could carry. Release makes way for clarity. Often, when we are attached to love, we view life through the lens of that relationship. Our choices, our thoughts, and even our identity become entangled with another person. It can be beautiful, but it can also limit our vision. When that love is taken, we are forced to see ourselves as individuals once again. It is in this space of release that we can hear our own voice more clearly, discover dreams that were silenced, and step into directions that might have remained hidden. Just as the clearing of an overgrown field makes room for new seeds to be planted, the clearing away of attachments allows new possibilities to take root within us. Release is also a form of trust. It requires faith that what is leaving your life is not the end of your story, but the unfolding of it. To release is to say, I may not understand why this is happening, but I trust that it is shaping me for something greater. It is to recognize that life's seasons are not random, but purposeful. The tree does not doubt that spring will return. The river does not resist when its waters are carried to the sea. The soul too must learn to trust that letting go leads to renewal. In releasing, we do not deny the pain. Pain is real. The absence of love can feel like an empty room echoing with silence. But release teaches us to see beyond the silence, to understand that emptiness is simply space waiting to be filled. Just as a vessel must be emptied before it can hold fresh water, the heart too must be cleared of attachments that no longer serve its highest growth. This process of release is never easy, but it is sacred. It is the soul's way of preparing you to hold more, to become more, and to discover depths you did not know were within you. Would you like me to continue with keynote No. 3 in the same expanded reflective style? Your worth has never been tied to another person, nor has it ever been dependent on who stays or who leaves. When love is lost, the heart easily believes that something is wrong with us, that we were not enough, that our value was somehow measured by the affection of another. But this is an illusion, a trick of pain that blinds us from a deeper truth. Your worth is not fragile, it is not negotiable, and it does not vanish when someone walks away. It is rooted in the essence of who you are, in the light that was placed within you long before anyone entered your life. To understand this is to step into freedom, a freedom where no person, no circumstance, and no rejection has the power to diminish who you are. When love is present, it often becomes a mirror. We see ourselves reflected in the eyes of another, and for a time, it feels like that reflection defines us. Their approval becomes the measure of our beauty, their attention the measure of our importance, their love the proof that we matter. But the danger of living through another's reflection is that when they turn away, we believe our value has turned away with them. Yet, the truth is that your worth was never in their eyes. It was always in your soul, in your breath, in your existence. To rediscover this truth after separation is to remember that you are whole even without the reflection of another. Consider the sun. It shines whether clouds cover it or not. It does not ask for permission to rise, nor does it depend on the earth to validate its light. Even when unseen, the sun is no less powerful, no less radiant. You are the same. Love may have been the window through which your light once shone, but even when that window closes, the light within you remains. It is not diminished. It is simply waiting for a new horizon to reveal itself. When you begin to see your worth as independent of others, a shift happens. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing someone to complete you, because you realize you were never incomplete. This is the preparation that separation brings. It teaches you to stand tall on your own, to carry your worth like a flame that does not flicker in the absence of someone else's breath. It teaches you that you are not defined by titles such as partner, lover, or spouse, but by the essence of your being, by the spirit that moves within you, and the purpose you were created to fulfill. There is a strength that comes from walking alone, a strength that cannot be taught by comfort or constant companionship. It is in solitude that you discover the depth of your own resilience. It is in loss that you begin to hear the quiet voice inside you, reminding you that your value is untouchable. It is in separation that you learn to stop begging others to see your worth, and instead begin to see it yourself. This is not arrogance, but truth. This is not pride, but awakening. To honor your worth is to honor the very breath of life within you, to stand in the knowing that you are valuable not because of what you give or receive, but because of what you are. Would you like me to move forward and expand the keynote? No. Force in the same way, keeping the flow consistent. Pain has a way of shaping us in ways that comfort never could. When everything feels stable and secure, we rarely search within ourselves for strength or wisdom, because life does not demand it from us. But when pain arrives, when loss settles in, when love disappears, something inside begins to awaken. The tears that fall are not wasted. They water the seeds of resilience. The silence of lonely nights is not meaningless. It becomes the ground where understanding grows. Pain, though heavy, is not without purpose, because it becomes the tool that chisels away illusions and reveals the deeper strength of the soul. Every challenge holds within it an invitation. Pain invites you to look beyond the surface of your experience. It pushes you to ask questions you might never have asked. Why did this happen? What does it mean for me? What am I meant to learn here? These questions are not meant to trap you in despair, but to guide you into wisdom. Without pain, there is little reason to reflect deeply on life. Without pain, the lessons that shape character often remain hidden. In this way, pain becomes a teacher, though not one we welcome easily. Its lessons are harsh, but they are lessons that transform. Think of a diamond. Before it becomes something beautiful, it is nothing more than carbon under immense pressure. The brilliance that captivates the eye is born not of ease, but of intensity. The same is true for the human heart. Its beauty and strength are not formed in seasons of ease, but in the crucible of difficulty. Tears, though they sting, polish the soul. Loss, though it feels empty, clears space for wisdom. Struggle, though exhausting, builds the endurance needed to face greater journeys ahead. What feels like breaking is, in reality, a process of becoming. Pain also teaches empathy. When we suffer, we learn what it means to feel deeply, to understand the weight others may carry. Without knowing loss, it is hard to truly understand compassion. Without knowing loneliness, it is hard to value connection. Pain softens the heart even as it strengthens the spirit. It allows you to see the world not just with your eyes, but with your heart. This is why some of the kindest souls are those who have known great sorrow. They carry wisdom in their silence and strength in their gentleness, because pain has shaped them into something deeper than they once were. In the stillness of pain, when everything else is stripped away, we also encounter ourselves in a way we cannot when life is filled with noise. Pain forces us to pause, to sit with what we feel, to meet parts of ourselves that were hidden. It is not pleasant, but it is necessary. It is in these moments that clarity often emerges, that we realize what truly matters, that we find strength we never thought existed. Pain is not just suffering, it is transformation in disguise. It sharpens the mind, strengthens the will, and opens the spirit to truths that only hardship can reveal. Would you like me to go on and expand? What feels like an ending is often nothing more than a doorway into another beginning. When love is lost, the first thought that rises is that the story has closed, that what gave meaning to our days has been taken and will not return. The emptiness that follows can feel like standing in the ruins of something once beautiful. But hidden inside this experience is a truth that is not always visible at first glance. Loss is not always destruction. Many times it is direction. What appears to be the closing of a chapter is often the turning of a page towards something far greater than the mind can yet see. When something or someone leaves your life, the human tendency is to resist, to hold on, to keep replaying what was in hopes that it might return. But life rarely moves backward. The energy of existence is forward moving, always calling us into growth. What leaves does not diminish us. It clears the way for something different, something that could not coexist with what has gone. Just as a seed must split apart in the darkness of the soil before it can rise into the light, loss is the splitting apart of what we thought was permanent. That breaking is the very process that allows something new to emerge. It is in these moments of loss that destiny often shifts. The path you thought you were meant to walk may no longer exist, yet another road quietly reveals itself. At first, it may feel like wandering without direction. But slowly, through reflection and trust, the new journey begins to show its shape. What you once thought was essential to your happiness becomes something you realize was only a stepping stone to where you were truly meant to go. Loss opens the heart to possibilities it could not see while it was full. Only in the emptiness do new dreams find space to grow. Consider the seasons. When winter strips the trees bare, it looks as though life has ended. Yet beneath the surface, the roots are deepening, the soil is preparing, and the unseen work of renewal is already in motion. Spring does not appear overnight, but it always comes. The cycle of nature reflects the cycle of the human soul. When something is lost, it may look like winter, but within that season, unseen preparations for spring are already unfolding. Trusting this truth requires faith, patience, and a willingness to see beyond appearances. Loss also awakens you to your own inner resources. When love is present, you may lean on it so heavily that you forget your own strength. But when it is taken away, you discover parts of yourself you never needed to call upon before. You realize that you can stand on your own feet, that you can survive nights that once seemed unbearable, that you can find meaning in silence and courage in solitude. This realization becomes a gift that no one can take away. It is the kind of gift that shapes your identity, not as someone defined by what they have lost, but by who they are becoming. The purpose of loss is not to break you, but to break you open. It is in this opening that purpose finds you. The journey you are being led toward could not begin while you were still holding on to what was behind you. Every ending clears a path. Every absence creates space. Every goodbye is an invitation to step into a new chapter. Loss does not close your story. It places you on the path of a greater one, a path only you were chosen to walk, with strength born from the very experience you thought would end you. Do you want me to continue with S keynote no. 6s in the same expanded reflective style, 600 words, so the entire sequence is complete? Being chosen for more means being invited into a path that is not always comfortable, not always easy, but always purposeful. It means that your life has a weight, a meaning that requires you to grow beyond what you thought possible. When love is removed, it can feel like something has been stolen, but in truth, something greater is being given. A calling, an expansion, a chance to step into the fullness of who you are. To be chosen for more is to be asked to rise, to see beyond immediate comfort, and to trust that what is unfolding is far bigger than what your eyes can see in this moment. The process of being chosen is not gentle. It stretches you. It asks you to endure seasons of solitude. It confronts you with your own strength and weakness. But within that stretching lies transformation. Just as the muscle must be torn to grow stronger, the soul too must be tested to expand its capacity. When love is taken, it is not because you were denied happiness, but because your journey requires a strength and depth that cannot be built in ease alone. You are not being diminished. You are being prepared to carry a greater weight, to shine with a greater light, to walk with a deeper wisdom. To be chosen for more is to live with trust. It is to believe that even in the absence of what once made you feel secure, there is meaning in every step forward. Trust does not remove the pain, but it gives you the courage to walk through it. It allows you to see that what feels like emptiness is actually space being cleared for abundance. It helps you remember that the universe never takes without purpose, never closes a door without guiding you to another. Trust is the bridge between the sorrow of now and the joy of what is coming. There is also responsibility in being chosen for more. It means that your life is not only about yourself. Your struggles, your growth, your lessons become a light for others. What you endure gives you the ability to speak with authenticity, to guide with compassion, to lift others who are walking through the darkness you once knew. Being chosen for more means carrying the weight of influence, the kind that comes not from power or status, but from the quiet strength of having walked through the fire and emerged refined. When you realize you are chosen, you stop asking why me and begin to ask what now. The pain shifts from being something that defines you to something that refines you. The journey shifts from loss to purpose. Every challenge becomes part of the shaping, every hardship part of the training, every silence part of the preparation. To be chosen for more is to walk with the awareness that nothing is wasted, that even the most difficult moments are threads in the fabric of your destiny. The truth of being chosen is that it rarely feels like a gift at first. It often feels like breaking, like emptiness, like loneliness. But with time, it reveals itself as the very path that allows you to rise higher, to discover the strength you never knew, and to step into a purpose that was always waiting for you. Being chosen for more means that your story is still unfolding, that you are being led towards something larger than the love you lost, something deeper than the pain you endured, something greater than what you once imagined for yourself. Do you want me to now write a conclusion for the entire speech, tying all 6 keynotes together into one powerful closing reflection?